Let's go to Best Actor. This is one where we have Joaquin Phoenix of The Joker at minus 5,000, big favorite there. Adam Driver for Marriage Story, he's at 10-1. We have Leonardo DiCaprio from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood at 33-1. Antonio Banderas from Pain and Glory at 50-1, and Jonathan Pryce from The Two Popes at 66-1. Colin, how are we feeling about this one?
Well, first off, I don't want Katie to throw anything at me here because I might throw some shade at Adam Driver, and I know that she's going to get really mad at me. But I'm trying to poke holes in this Joaquin Phoenix role, right? I mean, he's outrageously out the door on his odds. That, I mean, he's something that you feel like you can put into a parlay card. I mean, he won, I think, Golden Globes, SAG. I think he swept almost everything that he's been in. And from a betting perspective, historically, per Oscar metrics, the strongest best actor features are a non-British man in a British role. Well, we don't have any of those in this list of guys, so we don't have to worry about that this year. But in further years, you should look for a non-British guy in a British role. Those have been money. But that can hold off for another year as Phoenix is one SAG, one Golden Globe. I will give a shout out to Adam Driver. I thought he was absolutely fantastic in A Marriage Story. He deserves all the buzz that he's getting. He showed tremendous amounts of layers to his acting. I mean, I'm a Star Wars fanatic for my entire life. And this is a guy that just kind of grunted and emoed and would smash things up when he was pissed off, and then killed his dad as Kylo Ren. And now he's having FaceTime conversations with Rey with his shirt off, and like just left a really bad taste in my mouth. But then I see Adam Driver in BlacKkKlansman as a cop, as a Jewish cop trying to infiltrate the KKK. He's playing multiple roles in that movie. And then you go to A Marriage Story where he's like, he's a theater director, and he's, trying to fly to both coasts. And he nails the role of a father who has had his life completely turned upside down, has had his time split in half with his kid. His wife is, just kind of said that she's done. They're going to play it nice, and they don't play it nice. And his moments of frustration and yelling were so much more focused and centered and hit home with me than anything he ever did as Kylo Ren getting pissed off. So Adam Driver is good. I don't think he can beat Joaquin Phoenix, though.
I would just like the record to reflect that Adam Driver's diversity in his acting ability, let me start over. I would just like the record to reflect that Adam Driver's diversity in his acting ability has been around, predated Star Wars as Kylo Ren. I understand that Kylo Ren's character is very hateable, very emo. However, if you've watched Girls, if you watched Frances Ha, or any of the other movies that Adam Driver's done with Noah Baumbach, he has shown his range prior to this. But I am happy that it finally reached you, Colin.
Well, I think we can agree that he's going to win this award someday. I mean, he is good enough to win this award. It's just being a San Diego native, that's not British, and an American role on Netflix is not the combination to get you this award.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. And I do think you're right. I think that he's young. He's going to be around for a long time. I do think that the Academy realizes that and will factor that in. And to your point, it is hard to poke holes in what Joaquin Phoenix did in Joker.
Yeah, I love Adam Driver. I think he is incredibly talented. I don't think his performance in Marriage Story is what's going to get him this award. I think that performance is to come. One thing I will say about Joaquin Phoenix, I think that the Academy loves method actors. For those of you that don't know, method acting is when you kind of completely immerse yourself in the emotions and the kind of psychological aspects of your character. It's been widely reported that Joaquin Phoenix did not break character when on set. He starved himself. He, like many of the actors who have played the Joker, he kind of dove into this character and went a little crazy himself in the process, which I think has proven to be successful for those playing the Joker in giving a incredible performance. But in the acting community is a little bit controversial. I do think when looking at other method actors such as Daniel Day-Lewis, Meryl Streep, they are widely revered by the Academy. There is something to be said for throwing yourself into the work, and I think people recognize that, be it with the acting or even with a physical appearance. People are more likely to win an Oscar if they're shaving their head, if they lose a lot of weight, if they gain a lot of weight. So I do think that is going to be a factor, and I do think that's one of the reasons that Joaquin Phoenix is a lock here.
anytime you do something to your appearance or your body in the best actor role, it seems to get you home. And I mean, with The
Mhm.
Revenant, like when Leonardo DiCaprio crawled out of a frozen river, that wasn't CGI. That guy did 8 takes of crawling out of a frozen river. Like it really happened. And you talk about, you know, method actors like Heath Ledger is the standard for playing the Joker. And Joaquin kind of encapsulates how he was off screen, how he was on screen. And I just think it's funny about method actors. If you don't know what they are, it's fun to read about it because Daniel Day-Lewis's wife thought that she was in bed with Abraham Lincoln for 6 months.
Yeah, he didn't use a cell phone the whole time he filmed that. He refused to
Right.
use technology. And in interviews with his wife, she talks about how frustrating it was. He wouldn't let them turn the TV on. He would like turn the lights off. It gets crazy. And I mean, I think that there is a line that, you know, I think certain actors don't want to cross, but the fact that Joaquin Phoenix went there, I do think that'll be recognized.
Yeah, and you know, fun fact, where they filmed that movie, one of the train station scenes, Bedford Park Boulevard, that is actually where I grew up, my hometown, my actual train stop. So I'm hoping Joker wins. I think Joaquin was better than Heath Ledger in that role. You look at the 11 nominations, leading the all movies, and Joaquin was essentially this movie. I mean, it had a lot of other good things, but as far as acting goes, he was on screen for a large portion of the time. You really got into his psychology as you kind of went through that film, and you know you weren't kind of looking at it as, oh my God, the Joker's going nuts. Like you were really thinking about it, you know, as he would. So I think his performance would highly be surprising if it got upset. However, I will point out one thing. So I bet Phoenix back. He was about minus 1,000, so it's about 91% or so implied odds. Now he's minus 5,000, which is even more of a lock. So that's why I kind of bet some of these things early. But I did notice that 3 of the Gold Derby experts, so talking about 11% of them here, have switched their vote from Phoenix to Antonio Banderas for Pain and Glory. And so that would imply that, you know, the odds there anywhere down to about plus 800 or so, you could, you know, have some value there on Banderas. So if you're laying, you know, minus 5,000 or whatever it is, whatever crazy number it is on Phoenix, I think, you know, you just put, you know, a couple of dollars on Banderas here, that could end up paying off because that's the only one that's seeing any other love right now.